Be real, babe. I was just the receiver. Hey, you were the sexy quarterback who threw me that long pass. Now that is what I call a Hail Mary.
I call it a Hail Catchy. You're the one and only receiver I'd make a pass at.
And were you happy with the Hail Stanley I threw you?
That was a lucky Stanley, but let's hail it anyhow.
Mwah. What else can we hail?
Our favorite playing field, the Love Nest Motel, where there's never a fumble.
Wrong. Fumbling is part of the fun.
Well, one pretty big fumbles. I still haven't met your dad. I'm gonna marry his daughter, and he doesn't even know I exist.
He does know. Sort of. I told him I met you at the Apple store and you taught me Photoshop, which I use for all our ads. Dad always says, thanks Stanley for me.
But you still haven't told him I have a last name. Schneider.
You know why. You heard me when I met your parents. Maybe I shouldn't have told your dad I work for my dad at Oakmont Homes.
Yeah, when you heard the name Chris Adams, his mouth dropped open. I had no idea our dads grew up together. Best buddies who became worst enemies.
Well, I can understand your dad being upset when mine didn't show up for his bar mitzvah.
Upset, tried pissed off. The next day, he flips your dad the finger, which leads to multi-finger flipping and name-calling, which convinces my dad that your dad doesn't like Jews.
Which is why I haven't told him your last name. Dad's always been afraid if I dated a Jew, I might end up marrying one.
Oh, you poor kid, trapped in the middle of racial ugliness.
He doesn't hate Jews, he's just not a big fan of the tribe.
He calls us the tribe? I happen to be a tribe member.
I know, that's why our plan better work.
Hopefully, it'll turn your dad into a tribe putter-upper with.
I'll drink to that. But how are we going to get him to come to your dad's house?
Just tell him I'm Marvin Schneider's son, and Marvin invites him to his house this Friday to heal their friendship.
Uh-huh. I'm afraid Dad's answer will be digital.
Oh, no. Our plan will convince him that our meeting at the Apple store wasn't a coincidence. It was God's wish. And when we marry, God will smile on our happy interfaith family.
Oh, hi ho. He might buy it. He'll have to.
So tell him, this Friday at noon, meet at Marvin's house at 7425 Buckingham Drive, where he used to play cops and robbers. Pew, pew. It's time to make up.
Okay. How about this? Daddy, Stanley, my Apple genius, is terrific. He's Jewish. His last name is Schneider. He's Marvin Schneider's son, and he's going to be my husband, so please, like him or lump him. How's that sound?
It's a lot of tribe hitting the fan.
God, especially when I tell him we're going to elope.
Elope? We can't elope. I hate cantaloupe. It's too seedy. Too easy to laugh, part of being Jewish.
God, it's part of why I love you.
Seriously? All of a sudden you want to elope? Have you gone crazy?
Yes, very crazy. About you, because I'm pregnant. By you.
You're kidding.
Nope. Should have warned ya. Never teach Photoshop without a condom.
Okay, no, this is good. This is good. I'm glad we're pregnant. It proves that we're meant to be together. It'll be easy to handle our pregnancy.
Our pregnancy? Did you miss your period too?
Yeah.
My dad is going to freak out if he finds out I'm knocked up.
You're gonna smoke? Try it and I'll freak out.
Too much pressure, babe. One puff or I'll faint.
No, one puff leads to another, which leads to another, and then you're rehooked and you owe it to me and our child to live a long, long, long life.
You're right. You uncompromising pain in the ass. It's just, I have even bigger news to shock him with.
That sounds like a really big, oi! What?
I'm converting from Catholic to Jewish?
What? No, to please mom because of my brother's shitty
No,
marriage?
because his wife's affair caused their divorce, and her moving to Montana with your mom's grandkids made things worse. She's afraid lightning will strike her again.
You're not the lightning type. Mom met you, she knows you'll be a terrific daughter-in-law, she loves you just as you are.
Well, she's gonna love me even more. I called her rabbi and she said my bat mitzvah will be fun. Piece of cake.
How can I argue? You're my piece of cake. Or now a little cupcake.
Oh, so cheesy.
Oh, you're in love, Mary. Did you know about this?
Of course, daughters tell their mothers everything.
Okay, darling daughter, time to share with Daddy. Who's the guy? Come on, spill the tea.
Okay, the tea is I'm very much in love and we're getting married.
You're getting married?
Right away. No fancy engagement party, no big church thing. We're gonna elope.
Joe Kirby is a lucky guy, right? Go ahead. You can tell me I know.
Well, uncross and listen to your daughter.
It's not Joe, it's Stanley.
Who the hell is Stanley?
He's the guy. The guy who taught me Photoshop so I could live up to the title you gave me, Oakmont Advertising Director.
So it's no to Joe, our wonderful head carpenter?
I know you set up their first date, you sneak, but it's not Joe.
But they're a perfect team. Head carpenter, my advertising genius, the future of Oakmont Homes.
It ain't gonna happen. Look, Joe's a really good carpenter, but as boring as a 2x4.
All right, fine. So who the hell is this? What's his name? Stanley?
Dad, remember I showed you this picture I took with Stanley, the genius I met at the Apple store? He taught me Photoshop, and the more he taught me, the more I liked him, more than more, and now I love him.
Really, Stanley, that nerdy-looking guy.
Oh, Kathy loves Stanley's looks, and he's not just a nerd. He's chief nerd at the Apple store. He has a real future there.
Okay, so tell me about him. Is he from St. Louis, around here? Would I know his family?
Maybe. Probably.
Maybe, probably you're hiding something.
And she's not hiding anything. Go ahead, sweetie, tell him.
Stanley's last name is Schneider.
Well, no wonder you're tiptoeing around. Schneider. It's a Jewish name.
Yes, Chris, Stanley is Jewish. No, funny thing, you and his dad and Marvin grew up as best pals in the same neighborhood.
Shithead Schneider? Over my dead body.
Dad, you and shithead Marvin used to be close friends.
Arch enemies.
Shithead said you were big Cardinal fans together.
Would you talk to Shithead too behind my back?
Look, I met the Schneiders when Kathy invited me there and introduced me to Stanley. I was surprised when Shithead, Marvin, told us that he knew you.
And why wasn't I invited? And did Marvin also tell you that he was the spoiled rich kid who used to brag about his fancy lunch in his lunchbox? I can still smell it. That huge corned beef on Jew rye. And he's making fun of my Twinkies that cost a nickel.
Mr. Schneider said you had your differences, but then he laughed and said he'll forgive if you'll forgive, so forgive, please.
Tough task. When we see each other at Cardinal games, we both pretend we're blind.
Damn it, Chris, you say you're a good Catholic, so be a good father. Your daughter loves Stanley.
Thanks, dear, for not warning me that my daughter loves a Schneider.
Dad, that's my job, not Mom's. Please try to forget that you don't like Jews.
I do not like Jews. But I get nervous when one of them wants to infiltrate my family.
Infiltrate? Stanley's not a spy. Stanley loves Kathy, and Kathy loves Stanley, and she'll love being Kathy Schneider.
What? She's gonna trade our all-American name, Adams, the name of 2 United States presidents, so she can become a Schneider? That's a loser name. I looked it up when we were kids. A Schneider is a tailor, a guy that cuffs pants.
I cuff your pants.
Schneider also means loser at gin, the Jews' favorite card game. If you get Schneidered, it means you get skunked. Another major irritation here, Missy.
Please.
Okay, listen. Women keep their maiden names these days, especially when it's Adams, not Schneider.
It's very normal, Dad. I am marrying a bar mitzvah Jew who will be proud when I take his name after I'm bat mitzvah.
What does bot mean?
It means the same as bar, but for girls it's bot.
How the hell can Kathy come up to bot if she's not even Jewish? She'll eat right out.
I will be Jewish after my bat mitzvah.
Oh, I see. Schneider must also mean thief, because this Apple Store genius just stole our daughter.
He's not stealing. Love is a gift. Honor that.
That's easier said than...
Just do it.
Darling daughter, when you get bat mitzvah, will you throw away that silver cross I gave you at your confirmation?
Of course not. I love it and I'll always keep it next to my heart. Dad, please, please don't make me choose between you and Stanley.
I think it's wonderful that Stanley was kind enough to teach our daughter Photoshop.
Schneider doesn't give things away. What did he charge you?
Not one penny. He never lets me pay for anything.
Are you sure? You know, there's a Jewish model. The buck stops here, in my pocket.
Enough with the jokes. We only have one daughter who's in love and can give us adorable grandkids. You do plan on having kids, don't you?
Yes. Of course, you can count on it. Whenever.
Okay, if you become Jewish, I'll live with it. Or die trying.
Good, because your boy Pal Marvin is offering you an invitation.
To drop dead?
Stop it. It's an invitation for a Pound and Pound meeting Friday at noon at 7425 Buckingham
Marvin's
Street.
house.
Yes, his dad left it to him.
Oh, some inheritance. A nothing house, 3 tiny bedrooms, 2 teensy baths, plus a job selling insurance. Not his dream job of being a TV writer.
So Marvin and his wife seem very happy with what he's accomplished.
I've got an idea. Why don't we have this little pal-to-pal soiree in our mansion at Oakland Homes? 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths. I'd be happy to show Marvin what I've accomplished.
Don't make this a pissing contest.
Why not? He's always pissed me off.
Do it for me, Dad, and who knows, maybe something good will happen between you and Marvin. Forgive, forget, toast each other.
And I think he's sweet, diabetes-causing Jewish wine. I drink scotch.
Jews can't serve scotch on Friday because it's Shabbos. They serve their wine for luck.
I hate that Morgan Davis crap.
Logan, David. Just take a sip to be polite. So, can I tell Mr. Schneider you accept?
Okay, I'll be there with gritted teeth. Just waiting to get Schneider.
Thank you!
Mom, Kathy's bat mitzvah idea was hers, not
I
mine.
want to believe you. Rabbi Doris said Kathy was very enthusiastic about it, and I didn't even hint that I wanted her to be bat mitzvah. Not that it is a bad idea.
Which is why you're crossing your fingers?
Why shouldn't I? If our awful ex-daughter-in-law had been bat mitzvah, maybe she'd still be married to our son. God forbid.
Kathy is nothing like Lenny's ex-wife.
He's right. Kathy's a winner, Jewish or not.
Of course. But you sell life insurance. Our son needs wife insurance.
I don't need anything but Kathy.
Of course, but we don't want Kathy to lose her family, do we? Both families need to be parts of each other's. Hmm?
That's what our plan is all about. Hopefully it'll convince Chris Adams to act like a grown-up even though he isn't one.
You really think you and Chris can be pals again?
Pals never. Once a prick, always a prick. Especially an uncircumcised one.
Use the word schmuck, it's classier.
Schmuck is way too good for him. I'm doing this for you, son. But do you have any idea how difficult this is for me?
I know you had some issues when you were kids.
Issues? Those issues never went away. They only got worse. You know how much I love golf?
Yeah, you drive for hours to go to a public course because St. Louis Country Club, a block from our house, won't allow Jews.
That's history. Now they do allow Jews, trying to look unprejudiced so they can book celebrity golf tournaments for big profits.
So Jews are welcome now.
That's what they promised.
And you still drive to public courses out at Principal?
Are you nuts? I signed up for a membership at St. Louis Country Club, and the board gave me a thumbs down.
I suppose on the board was uncircumcised Chris Adams, the schmuck?
You guessed it. And he should be circumcised with a guillotine.
That man is not coming into our house.
Okay, Mom, but maybe since Kathy loves me and we're getting married, he'll be a pushover.
And maybe he'll be pushed under a truck.
No. At times like this, I always try to remember what I learned from my Hebrew school teacher. We'll always have goyim, so enjoy him, employ him, but don't annoy him or try to destroy him. You're here to stay. So I pray Chris Adams' brain lets him realize Jewish culture is based on decency, intelligence, talent, and fun, just like every other culture should be. Maybe we can make him see we're not the enemy, we're brothers.
And sisters.
Sure, and if that doesn't work, we can show him Kathy's Photoshop creation. Christmas trees are okay if they're decorated with Jewish stars. Ralph Lauren, the king of fashion, born Ralph Lifshitz.
By a world famous architect, Frank Gehry, born Frank Goldberg.
Mel Brooks, Melvin Kaminsky.
Jerry Lewis, Joseph Levitch.
Jack Benny, Benjamin Kabelski.
Mike Nichols, Mike Piszkowski.
Best name change of all, Lenny Bruce, whose used to be name was Leonard Schneider. You taught Kathy well.
Chris used to say Jews changed their name to pass as Gentiles.
Oh, wrong. We just want to be treated like everyone else, playing on an even playing field.
Maybe he'd be happy if we changed our name from Schneider.
The name Windsor, my new place.
The royalties wouldn't be good enough for Chris Adams.
Well, it doesn't matter. He is going to salute us when he tastes my matzo ball soup.
Are you insane? In a bag from the 99-cent store? Hide it, quick!
Are you Meshuggah? This bag is a work of art. Made of canvas, guaranteed to last forever, and only 99 cents.
But it might make us look like bargain hunters.
Guilty as charged.
That bag will make Chris think we're penny pinchers.
Guilty again. Don't tell me I can't go to Trader Joe's and buy my favorite wine, $2 Chuck, which the bastards have changed to $3.50 Chuck because snobs think I pinch pennies.
Do we have to broadcast our savings talent? Why not use this bag from that overpriced Ghana market? Whole Foods. It'll stop Chris's stupid cheap joke.
So you want us to pretend we're somebody we're not? Is that what our big plan is all about? I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was to show Mr. Ignorant Chris Adams who we are. Are we ashamed because we're smart shoppers?
You're right, as usual. We'll be proud and honest. We'll use the 99-cent fuck you bag.
Dad, it's Shabbos.
Sorry. Are Kathy and her mom on their way?
We're here. We're in the kitchen rehearsing, but I think I can hear Dad's car pulling up, so.
Thank you for the warning. Now, are we ready?
Ready.
Props?
Check.
Costumes?
Check.
Lines?
Hopefully.
Okay, folks, it's showtime. Here comes our play of a lifetime. Hey, break a leg.
Hey, why don't we break Mr. Adams' head and pour in some brains?
My lovely wife, that's exactly what our plan should do.
God willing. Speak of the devil.
Hi. He's back.
I will not drink Mogan David.
Neither will I. We both drink Johnny Walker. Because I got you hooked drinking from my dad's bottle when we were 12.
Damn right. Boy, I could use one now. Believe me, this was not my idea.
Of course not. You've never had an idea.
I've got one now. Fuck you.
Fuck you too. And the Mercedes you drove in on. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck down.
Fuck you. I got out of our system, right?
Well, that would take a couple lifetimes.
If it was just us, I'd agree, but we've got two great kids, and this is about them. So, shall we hug?
Are you fucking crazy?
Right? We'll hug after we're dead. For now, we'll shake.
Not our secret handshake, huh?
We're much too mature for that.
You know, I cannot believe I'm doing this when my golf course is waiting for me. I am only here because Kathy begged me, no other reason.
Gotcha. Our kids are getting married. That's the most important thing for both of us.
Not me. You want Kathy to change her name and her religion.
I don't want to change anything about Kathy. I just want you to keep an open mind about your daughter marrying a Jew.
You're still pissed at me, aren't you, for not showing up to your big bowel mitzvah?
Bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah, 1,000 pardons.
I'd settle for one if you gave a shit. Yeah, I was plenty pissed at the time, but my rabbi cooled me down. He said, goys will be goys. I don't like that you didn't show up. Sally Benson was there, and she chose me over you.
Sally didn't choose you. You bought her with fancy meals and expensive musicals. I could only afford movies and White Castle burgers. You stole my future wife, so I looked up the right Hebrew word for you goneth.
Goneth.
You want to know.
Big deal. Sally chose me. We were 8th graders. Who gives a shit?
I gave a shit because I was going to marry her. I wasn't going to, so I just said, screw you and your bar mitzvah. I wasn't going to sit there watching you, looking like Coney Curtis, you know, getting carried around in a chair, wearing your little yamulke.
Yarmulke. Yarmulke, goy boy.
Hey, you want to hear something completely nuts? Guess who showed up last week at Oakmont Homes? Sally Benson. Swear to God.
No shit.
Yeah, she and her husband, this little balding Jew named Milton, bought my prestige model. Afterwards, she hugged me and we talked, and she said the reason that she loved you was because you always made her laugh.
Of course. Giggling always makes them friendly.
She said, Jewish husbands never lose their temper.
No, we lose it sometimes, but we never show it. Marriage means love, honor, and never make a fist. And my son Stanley learned that from me, so you'll never have to worry about Kathy. So how about a peace treaty so we can be good fathers?
How about that drink?
Coming up. I never shared my dad's Johnny Walker with anyone else.
Well, thanks for getting me hooked.
Now, this war between us. If we want to be there for our kids, If we want them to have happy, supportive families through thick and through thin, we can't just ignore it. We have to deal with it.
You should have thought about that before you stole my girlfriend.
Oh, we go back further. You were a Post-Dispatch newsboy.
Yeah, my corner, Clayton Road and Westwood.
Dad always gave me a dime for the paper and a dime for you.
Yeah, you were the rich kid patting me on my head while your dad bought my paper, which was loaded with liberal garbage.
Joseph Pulitzer's Post-Dispatch was never liberal garbage.
Well, of course you'd say that. Pulitzer was Jewish.
You said your boss is always telling a celery paper of Pulitzer's Jewish ghost will fire you.
Pulitzer was a lucky bastard. His papa bought him that newspaper.
You're full of shit, which is the perfect intro for what's next. Take a seat, please. The show's about to begin.
What show? This is your life?
More like, this is what it should be.
Hello, Mr. Adams. Joe Pulitzer here.
Am I allowed to make comments?
We knew you would, that's why we're prepared.
Good. So, this is a praise Pulitzer show, huh?
No, it's a true Pulitzer show. Folks think my father bought me a newspaper because he was wealthy and hungry, but his business failed and he died poor before I could get to America.
Really? So how did you get over here?
During your Civil War, President Lincoln needed soldiers, so Hungarian men were offered $200 and a boat ride here if they would be U.S. soldiers for a year. I said yes. After the war, I moved to St. Louis. It was full of ex-Germans, and I spoke German. I loved the St. Louis Library. I watched chess games there. I was an expert. I whispered a move to one player, and he won. He owned a German newspaper, and he hired me.
Luck of the Jews, baby.
Brains of the Jews.
I worked hard, became editor, improved the paper. Then I heard the St. Louis Post-Dispatch had problems, so I borrowed enough money to buy it, and I fixed it.
Lucky.
Brilliant.
My life totally changed. I was now Mr. Pulitzer, newspaper owner. Also, I was now an American citizen. I was invited to elite parties, where I met my lovely wife, Kate Davis.
Kathy.
Mr. Adams, please stay in your seat, unless you care to join me for a dance.
Well, you know I can't dance.
Darling,
Kate,
in case you're wondering, I'm Protestant.
my gorgeous Shiksa, I wanted to marry you instantly.
And I you, from the moment you asked me to dance.
A Jew and an Episcopalian Protestant, a marriage made in heaven.
Of course, I told my parents Joseph was Jewish after the ceremony.
I felt bad not saying I was Jewish immediately. I believed in total honesty. I did that in every newspaper I owned.
Joe never denied his religious heritage.
Why bother? Every political cartoonist knows my nose.
Joe was so creative, reinventing the Post-Dispatch with sports pages, fashion pages, comic strips. The paper tripled in value.
So I bought another newspaper, the New York World, and we moved to New York. It was there I got the chance to repay America.
My remarkable husband did something immensely patriotic. He helped save America its finest treasure, the Statue of Liberty.
What are you talking about? Who are you kidding?
Sit! Please. France loved America's liberty and freedom, so they had their great sculptor, Bartholdi, craft a giant copper statue of a proud woman, torch held high. Their only request of New York was to build a granite base for the statue to stand on. New York promised to build it, but when a ship with the statue pieces arrived, there was no granite base.
New York assholes.
France was furious and shouted, "Our statue goes back to Paris."
And I couldn't allow that to happen.
Of course not. So you did what you always do, darling. You came up with a plan to fix the situation. Across Joseph's front page, in capital letters, he shouted, "We must keep our promise."
I proudly printed, "Our Lady Liberty was a gift from France. We promised to build her a granite pedestal to stand on. Anyone who donates $10 or more will see their names as patriots printed on our front page."
Gotta hand it to you, Joe. Sharp idea.
The next morning, many thousands of dollars poured in. My husband created a miracle, making it possible for our beautiful lady to stand proudly, welcoming the world.
And a Jewish poet, Emma Lazarus, wrote a brilliant poem.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Well, I guess I was wrong about that, Marv. Joe Pulitzer really was an American hero. I'm proud I peddled his newspaper.
Well, I thought you might be.
Always wanted to be in showbiz, Marv. This little show of yours is nice, but sneaky of you getting my Kathy involved. And I'm guessing that Pulitzer was played by your Stanley? Like father, like son, huh?
Meaning?
Well, you're both goners. You stole my girlfriend and your son stole my daughter. I mean, you have to admit, Jews will do anything to get their way.
We Jews live by rules of decency, rules which we created. The Ten Commandments.
Saw the movie. Hey, I was wondering, did Moses charge a fee to people who use those rules?
No, all 10 were a free gift to the world. And we have plenty of bad guys who must obey them or be punished. For instance, Trump's lawyer, Roy Cohen, smart fart with no heart. Convict Bernie Madoff, his honesty failed, so he died in jail. That weirdo, Anthony Weiner, there's no one had seen her. And don't forget a Weinstein named Barr told young actresses to put out or starve. Lots of Jews were awful, unlawful Mickey Cohen, Dutch Schultz, killers who called their group the Kosher Nostra. And the worst Jew of all was handsome and charming. Broke all commandments. It was very alarming. Instead of being honest and legal, he started Murder Incorporated. His name was
Bugsy Siegel.
Here I am in hell.
Mary, what the hell are you doing down here playing Bugsy's girlfriend?
Your ignorance is showing. I'm not a girlfriend. I'm God. Jews believe in equal opportunity. I'm God, and thou shalt zip it. Don't you dare light that poison stick. You know my rules.
Yes, ma'am. Just chewing, not smoking.
You prayed for me to go to hell. Why? Can't stand the heat?
It's a killer. But why send me down here with all the bad guys?
Seriously? You deserved it. You've always been a pain in my halo, and you never obeyed a single one of my commandments.
The terrible 10? Sure. I learned them all in Hebrew school.
And you broke every one of them. Never take God's name in vain. God damn this, God damn that. And you never capitalized any of my G's.
Not true. I obeyed commandment number 1. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Because you didn't believe in any God, you snot, including me.
So sue me. Shoot bullets through me. That don't make me a sinner. I obey commandment number 10. Do not be envious of others.
Because you selfishly grabbed whatever you wanted.
Wait a minute. I sure did obey number 5. Honor thy mom and dad.
True. You were a decent son. I've always been curious, why did they name you Bugsy?
They didn't. They named me Ben. I hate the name Bugsy. So I call my mob together and ask, who's the bum who named me Bugsy? This guy Charlie grins and says, me. Because he crazy as a bedbug. So naturally, I took care of him.
You took care of him. You mean you murdered him?
How do you know I did?
I'm God with a capital G. I know everything. And what about Commandment 6? Thou shalt not kill. It is the biggie.
Not in my business. If a bum insults you, you liquidate him. Just be sure you have an airtight alibi.
Alibis are lies. That's Commandment 9. And you tried to sell bogus explosives to Mussolini. Another 9. And you broke 7. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Whoa, Virginia Hill was too hot for me to cool down. What's important is I put Las Vegas on the map when I built the Flamingo Hotel.
And it also got you whacked. You told the mob the Flamingo would cost $6 million to build, and you pocketed 3. So a hitman snuck up to a window at Virginia's house, and bang, you're a dead bedbug.
So that's it? I broke 8 out of 10? It's a lousy sin and average.
It's too bad you had it all. Good looks, brains, hot sports coats.
But I didn't live and learn. I had to die to learn.
Yep, you sinned and got swatted. Bugsy, see ya!
You're still a rat, Marv. Now, my Mary thinks she's God. You owe me big time. But I'll settle for another Johnny Walker.
I thought you'd never ask.
So I guess there were villains on both sides of the fence, huh? Hey, look. I was a rat for being a bar mitzvah no-show, so go ahead and hate me.
Oh, no, you're an angel compared to America's worst villain ever. David Duke.
Oh, you don't have to show me that rotten neo-Nazi, KKK, anti-black, anti-Jewish, Holocaust-denying, Southern cracker, halitosis breath asshole.
Good, because no one in our cast would agree to play him. Time for a little nosh. Chris, meet my wife.
Susie, pleasure to meet you. You're Emma Lazarus. It's perfect.
Thank you very much. You wrote a perfect poem.
And God, I'll bet your God was great.
And you better start praying for yourself.
Are you ready for a real treat? Susie's mom's ball.
Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, wait. Sounds tasty, but I had a big breakfast.
Commandment 11, dear.
Don't be rude.
I'm never rude. This is my first matzo ball that I've ever stabbed. Oh my God. Oh, this is really good. Oh my God. I mean, you're God.
I am glad you like them. I always serve them at Shabbos dinners.
And after Kathy's bat mitzvah, Susie will be planning her Shabbos dinner, and we'll both be there, right?
From my mouth to God's ear.
I'll get Mercy.
I'll help you.
Barb, I gotta admit, you have gone all out to make the peace between us by putting on this theatrical masterpiece.
Sharp reviewed her notes.
Thank you. Hey, listen. If you can forgive me for being a bar mitzvah no-show, because I have completely forgiven you for stealing Sally Benson.
You have. Because she bought a mansion from you?
No, because, well, let's just say time hasn't been very kind to Sally. But of course, I could say that about myself, right? I mean, but the deal is, you know, she smokes now like a chimney. It was like having a conversation with Mount Vesuvius. Hey, listen, Mark, I have a favor to ask you. I mean, since you are an official member of the tribe, and I've always been so dumb about this Jewish stuff, I was just wondering if maybe you take a minute and help educate me a little bit.
Sure, but Jewish stuff bothers you. What we call kvetches.
Well, these are more like puzzling questions. Like, why can't Jews eat pigs?
Who knows? Maybe it has something to do with pigs having cloven hooves. Stanley and I love bacon, so we sneak it past Susie.
And I sneak mine past them.
Here's one that really just drives me nuts. Why at a Jewish wedding does the groom always stomp on and crush an expensive wine glass?
Maybe to prove we're not cheap.
Barbara, if Mr. Adams is asking serious questions, maybe he deserves serious answers.
Sorry, right? A stomped on glass assures a happy, lasting marriage. Break the glass, cement the union.
Interesting. Okay, here's another question for you.
Kvetch is one word, not two. Try it. Kvetch.
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 Almost perfect. Kvetch away.
Okay. Now don't find this insulting, please.
I won't. Name your kvetch. Oh, name your kvetch. That could be a great game show TV.
Now why do you people always attach those little metal door things to your front door?
Oh, you mean mezuzahs? God demands those if you want to live to 100.
Serious answer, it reminds us to be decent people.
It's a treasured tradition, like all our holidays.
Oh, your holidays, jeez, I mean, God, they never end. You know, my secretary gets days off for all of them, with pay.
Good.
Like Rosh Hashanah, which I know it's an important one, so I like to joke and say, Happy Jew Year!
For that, you're going to join Bugsy in hell.
You know, my secretary was so concerned that she actually put a list of the holidays on my phone so that I wouldn't forget any of them. Like Yom Kippur. Now, why did the Jews starve themselves on that one?
Probably to lose the weight we gained from all our other holidays.
It's to cleanse the body and the spirit, and a little weight loss doesn't hurt.
Passover. What are you passing over?
Where God freed the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. No joke there, kid.
Hanukkah, the one that tries to be more fun than Christmas? Come on. White beards have always been cuter than black beards. I mean, your holidays never end, so why not cancel a few?
Simple. We celebrate holidays to enjoy reminding each other of 3 important facts. 1, those bastards tried to kill us. 2, they failed. 3, we're still alive. Let's eat. Noshing is our finest tradition.
You know, we have traditions too, you know. I mean, when Kathy turned 16, I bought her a necklace with a silver cross.
And she loves it.
And my secretary wears a necklace with a Hebrew letter.
That letter is a chai. It means life.
That's why when we toast, we say, L'chaim.
To
To
life.
life.
To life.
Life has always been the most important word in everyone's life.
Why do I get the feeling that you're moving in here to introduce another Jewish hero?
Because I am. And this hero is unforgettable. Karl Lemlin, born in Germany in 1867, came to Chicago at 17, became an accountant, and saved every penny because he was deeply in love.
With a nice Jewish girl.
Not with a girl.
He was a gay caballero?
No. He fell in love with Nickelodeons.
Nickelodeon's tiny theaters that showed short films for a nickel. He saved up and bought one. Then he decided to make full-length films and charge a dime. He got a partner and moved to California. In Los Angeles, he bought 235 acres with Bupkis.
Bupkis was his partner?
No, Bupkis is our word for peanuts.
Oh, so he sold peanuts at the movies made by his company, Universal.
Right, how did you know?
Easy, in my profession, Bupkis real estate deals always get famous.
Back then, Thomas Edison ruled the film industry with an iron fist. Short films, low salaries, no stars.
Karl Lemlin reinvented the film industry. He moved actors like Mary Pickford away from Edison. He made playwrights into screenwriters.
He hired 14 women directors, and right from the start he offered Universal City tours, 25 cents, plus 5 cents extra for an egg salad sandwich.
He turned out big movies like The Hunchback of Notre Dame. His All Quiet on the Western Front won an early Oscar.
Don't forget his wonderful horror films, Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. How would you like to get struck by that monster?
Back in the 30s, Karl visited relatives in Germany and was shocked at the way Hitler hated the Jews. So he started getting Jews out of Germany. Relatives, friends, then any Jew he could bring to America. He saved over 300 families, thousands of people, sneaking them out and bringing them to Los Angeles. And once they got there, he found them all homes and gave them jobs at Universal Studios. Karl Lemlin was a real mint.
You know, it's too bad that more people like me don't know about Karl the hero. Hey, thanks for enlightening me, guys. What's next?
Be patient.
I've never been so patient. Where the hell's Marvin?
Getting ready for the Jewish gift of laughter.
The what? We'll see.
Greetings, folks. Mel Brooks, I'm not, and this here ain't Norman Lear, but pretend we are those comedy kings who turn your frown upside down.
Long ago, our funny art got laughs with a belch or a fart.
Since then, Jews got smart. We stopped slipping on banana peels. Our humor got funnier, and even heels.
When you feel verklempt and sad, cause your luck has turned real bad, use the Jewish gift of laughter and you'll grin forever after.
Hey, Mel.
Yeah, Norman?
Your Nazi musical, The Producers, was hilarious.
Thank you.
But precarious.
Oh?
Why didn't you make Hitler horrible instead of adorable? It may have lost the horror of the Holocaust.
Nah, everyone knows Hitler was a maniac, so when a Jew like me makes fun of Adolf the bastard, the Krauts know he'll be their last turd. If not, I'll kick ass again like I did at the Battle of the Bulge.
Bulge? Divulge. Mel Brooks, a World War II GI?
Aye, aye, Corporal Melvin Kaminsky, 78th Infantry Division.
And Norman Lear made a brave decision to be a gunner on a B-17, flying 52 missions.
My pal Carl Reiner was a soldier too, in awful conditions, schlepped all over the South Pacific, entertaining the troops.
That's terrific.
After the war, Carl won big with a master stroke, creating the Dick Van Dyke Show, and that's no joke. And he discovered Mary Tyler Moore, you know, and even wound up a funny actor on her show.
Hey, Mel.
Yeah, Norman.
It's time to sing and rhyme again. When your dear wife aggravates you,
Or the government berates you.
use the Jewish gift of clouding, take the crap to keep from drowning.
In other Jewish giants, that's you, Norman Lear. TV's biggest hit, it's clear, was All in the Family.
Yeah, I'm proudest of that show, my top rater. Thanks to Archie Bunker, that hilarious hater.
And you kept breaking taboos, the first black sitcoms, The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son.
And don't forget Maude, the broad that awed the world with groundbreaking portions, farmland politics, and even abortion.
Heavy stuff.
Sure enough, one more chorus to ease your soreness?
Why not?
I'll tell you how to change a hateful mind.
Just punch him in the kisser with a great punch line. Let sweet laughter bless your life.
Calm your stress and soothe your strife. Be proud and brave, don't shiver. Tell the world we're not chopped liver.
Hey, Norman.
Yeah, Mel, speak.
They say our laughter is unique.
Because we've always been knee-deep in giant reasons to weep. So it's more than just a rumor. Our best medicine is humor. I'll tell you how to change a hateful mind. Just give a punch and toughness with a great punchline. Never frown and let them win. Battle back but with a grin. Use the Jewish gift of laughter. Be alive forever after. Up yours!
Speaking of chopped liver, time for a little nibble nosh. And then you'll have to excuse me, I'm getting ready for the finale of honoring our musical hero.
One more Jewish hero. I bet I know exactly who it is.
I bet you don't.
Hey, don't mess with me. I'm an expert. You see, in high school, my dad was too broke to give me an allowance. So I got a job as a teen disc jockey. My specialty was Jewish weddings. My hero was everybody's hero. Playing his songs always meant big tips.
If you're wrong, you'll look like a big schmo. Is that the right word?
Perfect.
Your soup is addicting. I would kill for the recipe.
Oh, why be a murderer? 99-cent store. A can of matzo balls, can of chicken soup, boil them together. Voila.
Huh. Thanks for making it sound simple. So, are you ready for your big scene?
I'm so nervous I could plot.
Don't be. You're a perfect mom, so I'm sure you'll be perfect.
Oh, thank you, Kathy, for saying that. It's very sweet of you, and it gives me the perfect opportunity to ask you an important question.
Sure. Go right ahead.
When are you due?
Oh, I just plots. Did Stanley tell you?
Oh, Stanley didn't tell me. My Stanley did do the doing.
Oh God, yes. Ever since I met Stanley, I'm untouchable to anyone else.
Oh, thank God. Is this how you cross yourself?
That was perfect for your first time. Wait, if Stanley didn't tell you, then who the hell did?
You did. Well, not just now. I've been watching you the way you hide your pregnancy. You're very sensitive. You get out of Stanley's car very slowly. You get up out of our lounge chair even more slowly. The careful way you eat, nothing too spicy, only a thimbleful of wine. I'm sorry, am I being too nosy about your being
Knocked up? No. It's sweet. And you're so observant. Wow.
No, it's more a matter of it takes one to know one. My Stanley was also an early bird. May I hug your little him or her?
My pleasure. But instead of a hug, let's make it a gentle cuddle.
I mean, come on. Give me some credit. I know exactly who their final hero is. He was my hero, too, back when I was a teen disc jockey. I used to dress like him. I used to sing his greatest hit. I'd snap my fingers. Say,
So what's his name?
it's not a name. It's Zero. My hero was Zero Mostel. If I was a rich man, if I was a rich man. And so I thought one day I would be a rich man too.
Rich schmo like you. But you're wrong. It's not Zero.
It's not zero, then who?
Which songs were most popular at your Jewish weddings?
No contest. I always had the groom sing to the bride, I'll be loving you always. And then I'd have the bride sing back to him.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I mean, weddings were weddings. Well, it only happens when I dance with you cheek to cheek. Be careful, it's my heart. Blue skies, the best thing for you would be me.
You just gave yourself a giant hint.
Well, who needs a hint? Irving Berlin was my favorite songwriter, but that doesn't mean he was super Jew.
Get ready for an Irving Berlin education. Curtain up on Irving and his mama.
Izzy, we have to leave Russia.
But why, Mama?
Because the Tsar, the horrible king of Russia, hates Jews.
Well, why Jews, Mama? What's wrong with us?
Nothing! But they burned our little house to the ground in a pogrom, so we have to escape on a ship to beautiful New York City, America.
Papa was a Russian cantor. He's teaching me everything he knows about music. Why can't he be a cantor here?
Here, in Jewtown? The Papa doesn't speak English. We're lucky he got a job as a butcher.
I help out too, Mama. I sell newspapers.
Don't I know? You drop dimes and nickels into my apron.
Because you're my favorite lady in the whole world. Papa's gone now, Mama. Someone has to take care of the family. Don't be angry. I quit school.
No!
Yes, and there's a piano where I work. I've been writing songs and singing them while I wait tables. And look, I got published.
Ah. Wait, you wrote this?
Uh-huh.
It says written by I. Berlin.
And when the song was printed, they got my name wrong. It says I Berlin instead of Israel Berlin. Berlin's a big city, Mama. Sounds important. From now on, I'm Irving Berlin.
So if you quit school, how did you write all those songs?
I played the piano with one finger.
Oh, yeah, I always took you to be a one finger guy.
Ah, very funny. When one finger did it, I started as a laborer like you. Now you build mansions. I sang in barrooms, and no bragging, well, maybe a little. I wrote a song that became a worldwide hit.
Fool. How can the whole world love an American song?
Easy. When it starts a dance craze, the rag. Come on in here, Alexander's ragtime band. Come on in here, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before. So natural that you wanna go to war. It's the bestest band, whatever. Oh, Melody Lamb. And it earned $30,000 in 1911 money. That's $420,000 today.
Wow, no wonder they called you the king of Tin Pan Alley. And even bigger, Ziegfeld Follies.
Berlin, I like your style. A pretty girl is like a melody, as the cat's pajamas. We'll make it the theme song for all my Ziegfeld Follies. You keep cranking out those songs, we'll have a beautiful pop show.
But suddenly, I had a major career change. World War I. Private Irving Berlin, age 30, reporting for duty.
Now wait a minute. You got drafted at 30? Why didn't you just limp in and say, I'm too old to march?
I wanted to march, to prove to America how much I love her.
Soldier! It was reported you complained about our early hours.
It's only a song, General, called Oh, How I Hate to Get Up in the Morning, part of a musical I'm writing for an all-soldier cast to raise money for their families.
A musical with an all-soldier cast. Perfect. I can arrange 20 local shows. You sing that song in uniform. Got it?
Yes, sir! Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugler call. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up this morning. Someday I'm going to murder the bugler. Someday they're going to find him dead. I'll amputate his reveille and step upon it heavily and spend the rest of my life in bed.
Can't say I disagree, son.
But how about instead of local performances, sir? Why don't we take the show to Broadway?
Outstanding. Private, you do that and I owe personally exempt you from reveille forever.
Yes, sir.
But one more thing, I'm not an expert in your field, but there is a song in your show you might want to save for another time.
What song is that, sir?
I believe it's called God Bless America. Too gentle for this war.
Of course, you know, that show made millions of dollars, so you must have made a tidy sum from your royalties.
Not one nickel. I gifted every cent to the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America.
Really? My Kathy was a Girl Scout. I guess we both have to thank you.
Mr. Boleyn.
Yes.
Mr. Boleyn.
Yes.
You don't know me. I'm one of the investors for your wonderful new musical, As Thousands Cheer. First, let me say your idea of basing a musical on current newspaper headlines is magnificent. That's why I invested so much money. I know you're busy rehearsing and writing. I just wanted to tell you I'm your biggest fan.
I'm honored.
I saw your wartime musical. Oh, wish I had invested in that huge hit and done completely by soldiers. And my wife knows all your hits by heart. Putting on the Ritz, How Deep is the Ocean, Blue Skies.
I'm flattered.
And I can't tell you how excited we all are that you have your own theater now. Although, you know, we thought it should be called the Irving Berlin Theater, not the Music Box. But we applaud your humility.
I'm speechless.
Now, I've been elected on behalf of all the investors to come to you with a little emergency, which I'm sure can be easily fixed.
I'm listening.
Talented and savvy as you are, we cannot just understand why you would sabotage your own show with a huge musical number about a Negro lynching.
Supper time? It's a vital part of the show. You saw the headline, Unknown Negro Lynched by Frenzied Mob. You heard Ethel Waters sing it at rehearsal. A mother, knowing she has to tell her young children their father would never come home. Ethel told me that if one song can tell the whole tragic history of a race, Supper Time is that song. In singing it, I tell my comfortable, well-dressed audience about my people. Those who have been enslaved and who are now oppressed.
And it will have that comfortable, well-dressed audience fleeing the theater. To put it simply, you need to cut that song.
I'm glad you put it so simple. So is my answer. If Supper Time is out, so am I. We'll cancel the show and lose every penny.
But Mr.
I
Boleyn-
know that Clifton Webb doesn't feel Miss Waters as a star like he is. Just tell him that if he won't take a bow with Miss Waters, there won't be bows at all.
Yes, Mr. Boleyn. And it will be your funeral. And mine.
Lost your shirt on that one, huh?
If you call the show being a top money-making musical of the year, losing my shirt, well, guess I did. And I noticed that Clifton Webb bows with Miss Waters every night. Another awful war. General Irving Berlin here. Yes. Well, thank you. Yes, I have been working on some new songs. One I hope you think the GIs might like. Yes, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. We'll see how it goes. Yes, I heard President Roosevelt's Pearl Harbor speech. I'm hoping you'll okay a new musical I've been writing. This is the Ark. Mm-hmm. Oh, wonderful. You'd like me to travel with the show? Yes, and sing Hate to Get Up in the Morning. Well, I'd be honored to sing it. Anywhere, everywhere.
You had to travel with the show?
From sea to shining sea. General Eisenhower loved the show, so I happily agreed.
Wait a minute. Ike ordered you to schlep the world.
I wasn't ordered, I was honored. I traveled with the show for 3.5 years to Europe, Africa, all over the Pacific, with many other entertainers. Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, Marlene Dietrich.
You must have been old as hell when that war ended.
58, I was a young Altacocker.
Too bad. Curtains on your songwriting.
You mean curtains up. Rogers and Hammerstein were too busy to write songs for a new musical, Annie Get Your Gun, so they asked me to write all the songs in 2 weeks. A whole new world opened up to me.
There's no business like show business. They say that falling in love is wonderful, but you can't get a man with a gun doing what comes naturally.
I loved writing that show, and don't forget, we'll have an old-fashioned wedding.
Oh, you know something? Whenever I would play that song at my weddings, I always wondered if you ever got married.
I wondered too, for years, if it would ever happen. Then, at 37, I was at a celebrity party when lightning struck.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Berlin. May I introduce myself?
That sounds like a wonderful idea. May I put on my glasses?
Of course.
What a total pleasure. Who, may I ask, are you?
I write for the New Yorker. I'm Ellen McKay.
My God, of course. I've loved every one of your articles, especially the one about you giving up polite society to dance the Charleston at speakeasies. Won't you join me?
That's what I had in mind. I must say, I was going to skip this party until I read you'd be here.
There is a God. I'm honored.
You should be. I'm your biggest fan. I adore all your songs, especially my favorite song, What Shall I Do?
I love that you love that song, but it's actually not what shall I do, it's what'll I do when you are far away.
And I am blue. What'll I do?
See, I use one of those little apostrophe thingies.
I see. It's what'll, not what shall. I stand, I sit. Corrected. Blame my professor at Barnard College, who was a grammar tyrant.
Why blame him? He made me laugh. I'm sure he gave you A's.
How manly of you to assume my professor was a he.
Now I sit corrected. She gave you lots of A's, right?
Wrong. You were rudely right. He gave me nothing but A's.
Ellen, if I told you I found you fascinating, talented, and very attractive, would you think I'm too forward?
Not unless I was backward. And you're a brilliant songwriter with a funny bone, and I hear you Charleston like nobody's business.
Then let's get down to business. May I have this dance and many more to come?
Sounds like a deal.
Ellen! Ellen, my precious daughter, are you out of your mind? You are one of the most sought-after debutantes in the entire country. How can you get romantic with Irving Berlin, a Lower East Side Jew? I'll be the laughing stock in every paper, and so will you.
Who cares? I don't want to be famous or live in a 50-room mansion like yours. Irving is warm, wonderful, brilliant, and a success in business, too. Do you know, to make sure songwriters get paid fairly, he created ASCAP.
Ask Cap? What's that crap?
American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. He and George M. Cohan, who wrote I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, started it together.
So what else is new? Two Jews got together to protect the money, Irving Berlin and George Cohen.
George is not Jewish. And he's not Cohen, he's Cohan. He's more Irish than you are.
Well, then why doesn't the idiot change his name?
You are impossible.
No, you are. I will not allow my daughter to marry a Sheeny.
Dead shame on you. Do not make me choose between you and the man I love.
You will marry that man over my dead body.
I'm sorry, darling. What can we do about your father?
Well, I can't give up trying. Or give up my religion after years of obeying my priest every Sunday.
So you stay Catholic and I'll stay Jewish. Different religions won't matter. It's just fact and fiction.
Fact and fiction.
The fact is, we're in love forever. The fiction is whatever might be up there.
You say God might be fiction. My priest will kill me.
He won't have to. We'll live by the golden rule obeyed by all religions. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
My priest might okay that. And my father will have to.
Good. Then why wait? Let's go.
Go where?
To City Hall and have a clerk marry us. We can take the subway across the street.
Perfect, I'm so excited.
Well, of course, we're getting married.
True, and it will be my first ever ride on the subway. Well, Daddy made it official. My $9 million inheritance is history.
I know you don't want to break with your father, but until he comes around, my wedding gift to you is full ownership of my favorite love song. I'll be loving you always. I don't know, Mama. Should I have tried harder to keep Ellen and her father together?
You did what you could. When that man lost all of his money in the 1930s crash, you tried to be decent. Look, you gave him $1 million. And what was that stupid Jew hater's response? Only $1 million? You're hiding a lot more than that. And you never told Ellen you protected the woman you loved.
But even with all of that, Mother, I still felt bad separating her from her father.
That was his doing, not yours. Jewish, Catholic, What difference if two people truly love each other?
Wait a minute now. I see what you're trying to do here.
Excuse me, who is this Mumser?
I'm the man whose Catholic daughter is in love with a young Jewish man, and you are comparing me to Ellen's father.
That man was Drek. And if you don't know what Drek is, you don't know shit.
I know what it is, and you're saying I'm that guy.
Are you?
Of course not.
Then take example from my Izzy and his Ellen. With all of his honors and his successes, his medals and his awards, he was never too busy to be a wonderful husband and father. A magical marriage for 62 years with 3 beautiful daughters.
And what about those 3 beautiful daughters? And what was hanging from their neck?
Double chins, bite your tongue.
Necklaces with a cross or a high. I mean, if the mother's Catholic and the father's Jewish, what do the daughters believe?
We believe in a loving family.
What do you believe in?
The same.
And there is your answer. What matters isn't religion or money. It's how we look at things, our attitudes. They are our secret power. They will make or break our lives.
Amen. How could anyone argue with my brilliant mama? Thank you, Mr. Adams. You've been a wonderful audience.
Come here, you. Yeah, who else? Come over here. Come here. So, you're the Ganef that stole my little girl's heart, huh?
If I stole her heart, sir, she stole mine 100 times over.
Nice words. Look, I know you can write. I know you can sing. I know you can be a performer. I know you're an Apple Store genius. But what I don't know is if you're the right man for my daughter. Are you a mensch?
Yes, sir, I am. And I'd be happy to prove it.
You will.
Yes, sir. I can tell you something that will prove once and for all that Kathy and I were meant for each other. Something we did together that will cement our 2 families forever.
Stanley, no, you can't.
Mom, you know about this?
Kathy told me. Now is not the time.
And it's the perfect time. Why shouldn't I share the good news?
Right. Our news is too good not to share. Mom, Dad, Stanley got me.
To quit smoking!
Yes! That's right. Yeah, I did it for love.
Well, I love Stanley too now. I mean, you quit smoking. I mean, you promised forever.
Forever and ever, I swear.
Oh, sweetheart. We thought you were smoking and hiding it.
Well, I had to be sure I was really over it, and thanks to Stanley's tough love, I am. You know, when I first met him, I pulled out a cigarette and he snapped, "That's an Apple Store no-no."
And that got her to quit?
No, it got me pissed off. And I got more and more pissed off as I got more and more in love. So finally, I got down on one knee and said, "Kathy, you were my all, my everything. I am nothing without you. Let's save your life together."
Then he scared me with all the grim facts. Smoking kills.
Yep.
So.
Now that's a romantic proposal.
He wanted to save my life. What's more romantic than that?
So we created a forever agreement called Staying Alive, which sums up simply with these 2 words.
Fuck nicotine.
Stanley, it's Shabbos.
Sweetheart, it's for a good Jewish cause, life and laughter.
God would agree on that.
And I bless it.
Hey, Marv, I want to thank you for this afternoon. But every show needs a critic, right? So now it's my turn, okay? So let me be brutally honest. Why don't you guys all have a little seat? Huh?
Sure.
Oh, shit.
Now, Frank, in my totally biased opinion, my daughter was superb. My wife was a natural as God. Mrs. Schneider, you were very, very moving. And Marv, your script was fantastic. In fact, I was thinking as I was watching the show that maybe you should be writing ads for the television for Oakmont Homes, huh? If that would be all right with my advertising director.
Fantastic
Huh?
idea. Mr. Schneider?
I'll have to consult with my agent.
But you left somebody out.
There wasn't room for
Well,
everyone.
you shouldn't have forgotten this guy, Mark Twain.
Huh?
You know, I almost forgot about him myself. until I watched your show, and then I suddenly remembered how, when I was getting ready to come to your bar mitzvah, I decided to memorize a section of an essay that Twain wrote for Harper's Magazine in 1898 called Concerning the Jews. But since I didn't come, I never got to do the recitation.
Better late than never.
Well, that was over 50 years ago.
Right.
All right, if you don't mind me paraphrasing the great Mr. Twain. Okay, I think it was something like this. Jews, they make up less than 1% of the whole human race. So, why do they matter? Many powers, the Persians, the Romans, the Greeks, all rose up, conquered their worlds, ruled their realms, and then faded into the past. But the Jews, well, they outlasted them all. You see, their secret was they didn't rule. They excelled in the arts and comedy and business. They've always been called the chosen people. Maybe because they were chosen to fix the world. Which makes the reasons for anti-Semitism really quite simple. Because this world, our world, is still so far from being fixed. And now I can declare your show an unequivocal success. I mean, bravo! Now wait a minute. Time to put the focus and spotlight on the real hero of the afternoon. This young man here. Come on down, Stanley. I gotta tell you, you made the show. You know that, Marv? I am seriously crazy about you, Stanley.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
No, mister, come on, it's Chris. And I want you to know something. Goydom has its commandments too, and our most sacred one of which is no eloping allowed.
What?
No, come on, Marv, you can agree with me on this one thing, please. These two cannot rob me and God of the opportunity to dance and sing and laugh and play and toast and crush wine glasses, especially if there's a really good buffet to go with it. I mean, when the daddy of the bride pays for the bill.
No.
Yes.
No
yes.
way.
Oh, yes way.
No way.
Listen, it's a payback for my bar mitzvah no-show, okay? I'll tell you what, you arrange for the synagogue. I'll pay for everything else. If God with a capital G agrees.
Totally. Suddenly you're mensch. Don't go back to the old Chris, or I'll be singing, I'll be loving you sometimes.
I won't, I promise. Marv, Susie, okay with this? Kathy? Stanley, does a big wedding work for you two?
Hell yes! Oh, wait. What about my bat mitzvah?
Oh, no need to tackle that now. Well, weddings are very trying for the bride. You'll be carrying a big load. You'll be very busy with the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But here is a pre-wedding gift, a perfect temporary. Your hi to love.
I love it. Thank you. Can you wear a cross and a high together?
Of course you can. Because, my darling daughter, you both salute life. And bless you. Hey, Marv, on another very important matter, did you ever learn to play golf?
Almost perfectly. Why do you ask?
Well, because I'm almost a scratch golfer, and I was thinking that maybe I could improve your putts.
My rabbi already did that. Huge humor.
Okay, I'll put up with it. You want to play some golf?
St. Louis Country Club?
Yeah, it's a very forgiving course.
It's never been forgiving for me.
Times change. You got clubs?
In my trunk.
Me too. You want to play 9 holes?
Make it 18.
Chris, in Hebrew, 18 is chai, or
To life. 18 it is.
And a little bet.
Are you kidding? Name it.
The loser replaces the broken wine glass.
You got yourself a deal. Come on, our first hole waits.
Mr. Adams, Chris, I just want to say how happy I am that suddenly you think I meant you.
Stanley, you made it very easy for me. You had me at fuck nicotine, okay? You had every right to be called a mensch, so why mention it? Gee, no, wait a minute, that's my Jewish humor.
Attagoy! Shake?
Hey, hug me.
A miracle just happened.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may take just a moment of your time, please. My name is Chris DiCarlo. I'm one of the co-artistic directors here at Playhouse. And it has become customary over the last several years for one of our senior members, me being the seniorist. I've been here since 1964, with the exception of 2 years in Vietnam, 67 to 69. Well, you may ask, what are we out here to extend you our gratitude for? Well, you did. You bought a ticket, you showed up, you sat in the seat. Most importantly, you endured the entire production. And I say that because it's a thought we don't think about often. I'll go back a little bit. I got back from Vietnam in '69, and in 1999 I had a thought, 30 years after the fact. And the thought was, our humanity is our most precious resource. And it seems to me to be an imperative we do all we can in our lives to nurture our capacity to experience and share that humanity with ourselves and others. And when you sit in that seat, that's what you're doing. Because you're being exposed to thoughts, situations, relationships, conditions, ideas that you may never wish to entertain. And yet there you are. And as you leave, you walk out the door having that experience. And somehow you're going to have to deal with it. And that takes you out of your comfort zone. And maybe it allows you to become a little more tolerant, a little more accepting, a little more appreciative, a little more human. And that is a sacred gift you give yourself, your friends, your family, your community, and to the artists on stage. And for that gift, personally, and for the Playhouse, I want to say to all of you, thank you. Thank you. Our history, we opened our doors in 1960, and it wasn't until March 4th, 2020 that we'd ever had a dark week. And for almost 3 years, a little over 3 years, we were shut down like all the theaters around the world. Now during the pandemic, we did manage to get some support and pivot to streaming and all those other things, and we were making a go of it. But now we're in recovery, getting audience to come back in the theater. You showed up today, and you're here. And I'm sure you've heard all the stories around the world, in New York, in London, Chicago, here in LA. Seasons are being canceled, shows are being shut down early because audiences are still not coming back to pre-COVID levels. It's all on our shoulders. If we want live theater to survive, somehow we have to do our part. One of the things you can do is, if you enjoyed the show, please take one of the coupons outside and share it with your friends. The show will be in hiatus for September, but it's coming back in October, so it will be continuing, although I know it says everywhere the 27th is our close. But you can share that with your friends, let them know about the show, and hopefully they'll come and keep filling up the seats. The second thing you can do is somehow give us some support by putting a little something in our Save the Playhouse basket. The recovery is only going to happen because all of us are working together. We do appreciate you. We think of you as our extended family. In our history, we have over 5 million of you worldwide. So thank you, and please do what you can.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey.
Thank you. Thanks for
Really
coming.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Filled my life with goodness. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.